Welcome to the Let's Go Guided podcast, where we bring you inside the world of guided hunting through real conversations with outfitters. All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Let's Go Guided. Today we're headed into serious Western country with Colby from SMC Williams Guide Service. Colby's built a fantastic reputation the right way: hard work, honest hunts, and a deep respect for the land and the animals that they pursue on it. Colby, welcome to the show tonight, my friend.
Thanks, Robbie. Appreciate you having us on.
Yeah, absolutely. Stoked to get into it. You are one of our first outfitters that we've spoke with in the state of California. I know when a lot of people think of Western hunting, they maybe skip over California. It's not at the top of the list, but man, you guys have some cool hunts going on there. Run me through what kind of hunts you guys offer in your area.
Yeah, so our bread and butter is wild pig hunts. That's kind of the big thing in California that tons of different outfitters do. Ourselves, I mean, we're located kind of in the heart of where pig hunting started in California. We originated in King City and then kind of built out to different areas of the state as well. But outside of the wild pigs, we also offer wild turkey, tule elk for guys that draw the Gavilan unit tag or the 400 Liggett tag. And then we also do some blacktail buck hunting as well.
Oh, very cool. And are those tags draw as well, or you guys have like an allocation for them?
For the black-tailed deer, the unit that we're in, it's A zone. They technically list it as a draw, but it's so many tags, it's really over the counter.
If you put in, you get it kind of thing.
Yeah, it hasn't sold out in 40 years.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. So before we dive into, the outfit and get more into what the hunts look like, let's back it up a little bit. Share with us a little bit about how you got into hunting. Was it something that, you were brought up in? Was it something that you found a little bit later in life? What's your foray into hunting look like?
So from my side, I wouldn't say I got into hunting. It was more so a complete part of my life from almost day one.
Okay.
My dad was a guide in California for over 40 years.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
Really, it wasn't even as much hunting. It was guiding as an aspect of it as well. But as long as I can remember, I was always tagging along when he was either hunting for himself or running hunters, whether that be, slowly hiking behind him or in a backpack on his back.
That's awesome. So run me through like your earliest memories of hunting as a kid growing up with a dad with an outfitter. Like, man, you must have seen some stuff.
Yeah, probably seen just about everything that you can see, like from the guiding industry, just at how long it's been going on and from every age. But no, I remember, probably earliest like 5 years old or something like that. Just really bouncing around in my dad's pickup bed when hunters are in the back seat and chasing pigs, going through the barley. Yeah, I mean, I was just kind of a little kid and stars in my eyes following him around everywhere
yeah.
I went. And if he ever let me sleep in and didn't wake me up, I'd be throwing a tantrum that I wasn't going hunting.
That's it. So it was in the blood from when you're little.
Yeah, it was just ingrained in every aspect of my DNA.
Nice. And was he your dad? Was he outfitting while you were in like high school, that sort of thing? Were you still actively working with him outside of school? How'd that all look?
Yeah, so basically like myself, I tell everybody I got started guiding when I was 10 years old. Really started helping him and things like that. Beforehand, even younger than that, I was skinning pigs for him, trying to drag the best I can, gutting. I was doing, any little bit I could from a young age. Really got going into it with him when I was about 13 in 8th grade. He got in an accident and really needed some help.
Okay.
He was out there guiding in a walking boot and a walker, broken leg,
Yeah.
fractured pelvis in multiple places, broken
Oh,
rib.
geez.
So that's what really got me doing it more and more is he needed the help. So I really started doing it. But then all throughout high school, any weekend I didn't have sports or anything going on, I was out there by his side, just guiding along with him.
Yeah. And it was mostly pigs at that point too? Hogs?
Mostly pigs at that
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
Okay.
Did a lot of turkey when we were younger and stuff as well. But, our bread and butter is just wild pigs.
And
So
what's the season for turkey down there? Is it spring or is there a fall season
uh,
for it?
we have spring and fall.
Okay.
We did most of the guiding in the spring. Fall, toms aren't really active. They don't respond to calling or much like that. So if we were booking guys, we were booking them in the spring.
Okay.
It offered a better hunt, better opportunity for the guys looking for a big tom.
Nice. So that's fantastic. Run us through what after high school looked like for you. Did you guys stay guiding? Walk me through the transition of dad's outfit into kind of your own.
Yeah, so it was a transition period. So the guiding never stopped. Throughout high school, my dad probably had his outfit a few more years past press myself graduating. But I was also started guiding for another outfit uh, shortly after high school. I was actually just doing ranch work for the guy, but I transitioned into guiding when Sam actually came in and started running his operation.
Okay.
So there was a completely different outfit that I was a part of on the ranch side and got pulled into the guiding after Sam started managing the entire hunting operation. He needed more help, wasn't really happy with the other guides that were out there. And then he found out that I had experience with guiding and he talked to the owner and was able to pull me in on the guiding side.
Okay. So you guys worked together in another outfit before you went and started your own. Is that
Yep,
correct?
we worked together in another outfit.
Okay.
That's how him and I met, became friends. We worked there for a few years together. I left and kept doing my own thing with my dad. Sam eventually left that outfit, started his own business.
Yeah.
So at one time, we had Williams Hunting Service and SMC Guide Service separate.
Yep.
One was Sam's, one was mine after I took it over from my dad a few years after high school.
Okay.
Um,
And sorry, were they in a similar area? Were they different parts of California? What'd that look like?
so similar area.
Okay.
So we both guided kind of outside of King City or within the central coast of California. We had different ranches and different places, but we stayed in contact. After a while, if we needed help, we'd call each other, get each other to help.
Nice.
As it first started out, I primarily had hog ranches, and when he was first starting, he had deer and turkey ranches.
Okay.
So as we went back and forth after for a few years, we became unofficial partners.
Of course.
Running
Yeah.
running the two guide services separately as unofficial partners, but really working together the entire time. And then this past year in 2025, we finally put everything on paper and became official partners in SMC Williams Guide Service.
That's fantastic. I love it. So run the listeners through what the country's like that you guys hunt. Maybe both. Let's run through all four species. Are they all kind of generally in the same type of topography? What's the land look like? Run me through what's that's all about.
Yeah, so over on the Central Coast is where we kind of do everything. So we've got our pigs, deer, turkey, and elk. It splits between the different ranches. Outside of King City, we pig hunt, do a little bit of deer, and do the Tule elk.
Okay.
The land over there, it's kind of rolling hills covered in oaks, maybe deep canyons with a bunch of thick brush and such as well.
Yeah.
One of the main ranches, just a couple air miles, if that, from one of the lower ranches. It gets more mountainous. We've got a 2,000-foot elevation claim or gain from bottom to top. It kind of surprises guys. Kind of getting some guys somewhat argue that pigs don't live that high up. And
Yeah.
it's like, well, all right, let's get up the mountain and prove them wrong. We're killing pigs up and down that entire ranch.
Cool.
Out there, that's where our elk are as well.
Yeah.
And then over more towards the coast is where we kind of do our turkey hunting more so. That's a little bit more open, more kind of just grassland. It's got hills, few oaks and stuff like that. Um, but from there, if you're on the top, you can kind of see the ocean from there. So
Okay.
it's a little
Wow.
bit different topography.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what we do on the Central Coast. But we also run some bigger ranches over in the Central Valley. That's more just kind of open grassland. You know, large riverbed. 9-10 miles of riverbed. And then orchard as well. So we're hunting agriculture there.
Cool. Very cool. So when you guys are up in that higher elevation, how are you moving around on the hunts? Are you guys using ATVs? Is it backpack style hunt? How physically challenging is it for guys to do that? Do they need to be in shape? Is it something that you can bring your older dad or granddad along on?
So depending on the type of hunt or time of year,
Okay.
it's really as easy physically or as hard as you want to make it. So all the ranches that we hunt, they've got good ranch roads on it. But once you get into wintertime, roads are shot, and we're backpack hunting a lot of that.
Okay.
But we run, Jeep, we side by sides, get guys around. But depending on the time of hunt and your physical ability, sometimes of the year may be better than other.
Okay. Okay. And with the pig hunts, do those go year round or is there seasons for those?
The pigs year round.
Pigs year round.
So
Nice.
that's a great thing that anybody wants to get into. It's something that, in between deer, in between elk, in between duck, if you're into anything else and not sure what to do but want to keep hunting,
Yeah.
the wild pig is always an option.
Oh, that sounds fun. That sounds fun. So as somebody that hasn't hunted them before, what's the day to day like? You wake up first. Let's start there. Where are we waking up? Is there kind of a ranch house that you guys have? Is it something that you hotel and then come in the morning at? What's the game
Yeah,
plan?
so our side, it's hotel, come in the morning. We'll tell guys where we're going to meet in town. We get there, we meet, make sure everything's gassed up, everybody's got water, snacks, kind of go through business first, right?
Yeah.
Got to have guide logs filled out. Need to do release of liability. Sam and I kind of split. I'm sitting there kind of handling the business. Sam's more of the people person.
Okay.
So he's over there, gets to the guys, goes over the safety brief, what can expect on the hunt, brings up different pictures of the animals that we're hunting, goes over anatomy, where shot placement should be, if you're doing
Nice. Nice.
broadside, quarter away, if we're hunting things in beds or on foot, kind of goes over all of that. So we kind of do like a debrief in the morning of what to expect on the hunt,
Yep.
Especially if we're going into a dog hunt, because that changes the whole dynamic as far as how you handle yourself, keeping everybody safe from where your muzzle is, and keeping the dog safe as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys do run dogs for the pigs there?
Yeah, we do run dogs for the pigs
Is
as well.
is that
So
kind
we
of the
do a
number?
combination.
Yeah, is that kind of the number one way to go after them?
I'd say our number one way is spot and stock.
Oh,
So we do mainly spot and stock, but it also depends what ranch we're hunting and what time of year.
okay.
So like once it gets hot, once foxtails come out, dogs are put up for like 6 months of the year. Once it's cooler weather, we're over there hunting some of the bigger ranches. We may be running dogs quite a bit more. Um, but it's kind of just what do we feel is going to be the most successful, and also how guys want to hunt.
Yeah, that's cool. So when you're doing spot and stock for them, is the program gain elevation, try and see them
It
down low and then go after them, or
it changes,
okay.
always changes. So depending on the ranches we're hunting and the time of year. So if we're hunting wintertime on, say, we're just doing a spot and stock, it's a lot more relaxed. Like first light doesn't matter nearly as much. It's super cold in the morning. Pigs aren't necessarily up on their feet. They're like us. It's freezing, getting pounded by wind all night.
Yeah.
They may actually wait for the sun to come up before they're up moving around. So it's a little bit more relaxed in the winter when we're doing the spot and stock. We kind of cruise to the low country first, see if anything's moving around the creeks, down in the flats, before we kind of move up onto the ranch.
Okay.
If we don't catch anything on their feet down below, it's get up high, get on a good knob, and we run optics like crazy.
Okay.
So
Are you guys are you allowed to run thermal optics in California?
no,
No. Okay.
no,
Okay.
not out here. No, so a lot of binos,
Yep.
and then we always run spotting scopes as well, because we're looking, as close as 100 yards across the canyon, or we may be trying to dig pigs up in their bed, 4 miles off.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so you wouldn't really think it, but when we're doing the spot and stock, it's extremely technical glassing that we get ourselves into once we're digging through oaks, brush, and looking for just little pieces of a pig, whether tail flick, ear flick, different things in the shadows. So it's a lot of fun, but a lot different than a lot of guys hunt pigs.
Okay. Okay.
Then if you turn it around and get to like summertime of the year, that's not relaxed at all for us. We're up a lot earlier. We're sneaking into our spots in the dark, and we're kind of staging up where we know pigs are hitting, whether that's water or, maybe a barley field. And we're trying to sit on there, you know, 10, 15, 20 minutes before shooting light.
Yep.
And we kind of just wait for that sun to come up, watching the time. And as soon as you can see and it's legal shooting light, game's on. It might be the first minute to, just go, go, go. We have to be there, get them, or else they're leaving.
Okay, so it's that first light, and then what would the rest of the hunt look like for the rest of the day? Then is it wait till right before dark? Do they move again?
Yeah, so summertime as we're going, once they get out of there, the first part, we may spend the first, 2, 3 hours still hunting.
Okay.
It kind of depends on the heat, how hot it's getting, how quick.
Yep.
So we'll still try to catch them getting back to their beds, maybe do a little bit of bed hunting, glassing, and things like that. If it doesn't work out and we either don't kill anything or we've got more guys left to fill out, summertime is kind of you take a long break during the day. Because where we hunt, it's 90, 100 plus degrees in the middle of the day. So we're not going trying to kill pigs in the middle of or in the bottom of a terrible canyon where, we're going to hurt guys getting out in heat oxidation. We're not trying to have meat spoil on us. So it's a long break. And then we come back around to the evening, last few hours, kind of get their stage up. Um, and wait for them to kind of get out of their beds, start moving, try to cut them off to a water or a feed source, or even sit on the water or feed source and just be ahead of them.
Cool. That sounds like a fun hunt. Real
Yeah,
fun.
it's a lot of fun.
Do you have your own personal favorite? Fall, winter, what time of year do you like chasing them?
Myself, I like winter.
Okay.
I like getting out on foot when doing the spot and stock. I kind of like my vehicle being taken away from me. Have to go on the backpack, makes you slow down, do something different. And the big thing is wintertime is when we do a lot of the dogs.
Okay.
The dog hunting is my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah.
It opens up a whole kind of different avenue. It's a, huge adrenaline rush. It's different than sitting back and, shooting something at 1, 2, 300 yards. Now we're getting in there. We're sneaking guys into a bay, have to be extremely quiet. We're right in there making sure, pigs not hearing us. So we're not getting charged. They're not breaking from the dogs. Also fun if you, get the catch dogs in there. You get guys that want to be hands-on with it. They're running in there with us, timing it, grabbing a pig by its back legs, flipping it over, helping pull dogs off, and it just turns into utter chaos. But a lot of fun at the same time.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. And the fun thing or the cool thing for me about hunting with hounds is just how excited they are. Like they
Yeah,
absolutely live for it, right?
yeah.
They're-
There's nothing better than watching your best dogs work.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's cool. And how about the other hunts? Blacktail hunts. I'm guessing those are fall hunts.
Yeah, fall. So our blacktail season archery starts in July.
Oh wow. Okay, early.
Yeah, our unit that we have here that we're hunting, it's the earliest deer hunt in the country.
Okay, okay,
Right. So it's July, August, early August for archery, and then August through about end of September or almost end of September for general rifle.
okay.
But we're still hunting the heat, right?
Yeah.
So we're still hot that time of year. So we're chasing deer in 100 plus degree weather some days.
And how are you guys chasing the deer? Kind of the same program as the pigs, trying to catch them early, light, spot and stock, or are you guys using tree stands? What's the setup for that?
No, we do everything spot and stock for our deer.
Okay.
So when we're coming into deer hunt, we'll start running some trail cameras to understand what we have moving, timing, what kind of bucks we've got on the ranches.
Yep.
So we get an idea of what we have out there, depending on the hunt. Are we going for a trophy or management buck? Maybe have an idea or what our target buck is going into a hunt. We don't hold just to that, but we like to have an idea of what our options are for the deer that we are seeing. And then there's always deer you don't see on camera.
Of
But
course.
we're getting up, as high as we can, splitting up the ranches, Sam on one knob, myself on another. And we're kind of just sitting back and running glass.
Yep.
So we just take our time, go through the deer. When we find something that we like, either figure out if it's in a good spot that we think we can kill it, or we're just going to watch it and let it go to the next day. Right. So just kind of go back and forth with that.
Nice, nice. And so you mentioned ranches that you guys are hunting on, and I love all kind of hunting. No judgment here. Are these high fence ranches, low fence ranches? What's it look like for
It's
that
all
standpoint?
um, it's all low fence, so nothing's high fence.
Yeah.
Everything's free range. If you'd even call it low fence, it just depends how well the cattle fences up that day.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, nothing high fenced.
Cool, cool. And talk to me a little bit about the elk. If somebody was lucky enough to get a draw, how first off, how hard is it to get a draw in the zone?
Um, any of the elk draws in California is basically a once in a lifetime tag.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so you've got guys max points that are probably have several more years before even drawing a bull tag. And you've got a lot of guys with max points that have been putting in for, 20 plus, 30 plus years that are burning their points on a cow tag just to kill a Thule elk.
No
Because,
way.
California is the only state that has a Thule.
Okay, okay, gotcha.
So extremely difficult.
And how fun are those hunts to guide for?
They're they're fun.
Yeah.
It's for me it's a nice breakup and everything like that because we don't do a ton of elk. So be able to have that change up and kind of hunt the same ranches that you're chasing hogs on all year.
Hmm.
It's kind of blows people away that you're having the intermingle in the country with the Thule elk and the hogs and the deer. You don't typically think of the same terrain for elk and pigs for what you're hunting.
Okay.
But when we do the elk, if we do a bull, we maybe do one or two. We like to limit it to one so that we can really put the entire season aside for somebody that burnt all of their points on that hunt.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time when we book a guy, we give them the entire season. So being able to come in there and know that, we're helping somebody fulfill that lifelong tag that they've been chasing. It's just awesome to do.
Yeah, I could imagine the pressure. Um,
Yeah.
what's the densities like? Like, are guys when they do get that tag of a lifetime, are they seeing a lot of bulls, or is it a little bit tougher of a hunt?
It depends on the year.
Okay.
So, like this past year, we were going through, I don't know, 10, 20 plus bulls a day in our area, and kind of just going back and forth picking, or I guess waiting to find the best quality that we had out there. It is a late hunt. So by the time you get around to that Gavilan hunt,
Mhm.
a lot of bulls are broken up.
Okay.
So we spend a lot of time going through the bulls to look for quality, right?
Okay.
What's
So
not broken? What do we have left? Because you may see a 300 plus inch, Thule bull, which is a slammer Thule.
okay.
So just to give reference, I think it's 275 for minimum Boone and Crockett, maybe 285 as actually a book bull,
Okay. Okay.
right? Just to give a reference, because Thule are a lot smaller than Rockies, but we do see a lot of bulls on our hunts because there's very few tags given out in that unit,
Yeah.
so you don't have a whole lot of elks. You don't have a whole lot of elk taken off of the ranches that don't have PLM.
Yeah. And so they're not pressured as much as maybe a general open season in another part of the country.
Yeah, then this unit here, it's probably 98, 99% private land.
Okay.
So there's really, if you draw this tag, there's almost nowhere to go do it yourself.
Yeah.
So you almost have to link up with an outfitter or just know somebody that has a ranch that happens to have the elk on them.
Yeah. Yeah. And are you guys hunting kind of the same ranches that you grew up hunting, or I'm sure you're always working on relationships and building them and working on new stuff, but is there any of that history still linked?
Yeah, so our main ranch is out of King City. We're still hunting the ranch that I killed my first pig on. We've had the hunt lease on that for 30 plus years in my family. A couple other ones, 25 plus years. So it's stuff I've been running on since I was a kid. But then we've expanded this last couple of years. We've been lucky enough to pick up a lot more dirt.
Yeah.
So we went from running, roughly 10,000 acres to now we've got about 65,000 that we're running ourselves.
Wow.
And then we also partner with another guide buddy sometimes that has another 50 to 60,000. So altogether, we've got now 100 plus thousand acres that we can run guys on.
Holy smokes. How do you guys pick where to go? That's a lot of land to cover, my friend. Holy
We're
smokes.
moving around all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're hunting the Central Coast, the Central Valley, the foothills of the Sierras with our buddy. So we're covering a big part of California.
Oh, that sounds like a blast. Living the life, my friend. That's so cool. So cool. Some of the best times we have on the podcast is sharing hunting stories. Do you got a hunting story for us? One of the ones that you'll never ever forget, that special hunter. Maybe there's a couple of them we can run through if we got the time here. But love to hear a couple cool stories.
Yeah, I'd say recent one from, I don't know, a couple years ago or so. Um, we were out in the winter. Sam and our other buddy were running, big group of 6, 7 guys over in the foothills of the Sierras. I had a single hunter coming out on his first or second pig hunt ever. I don't think he had luck the first time.
Okay.
Met him in the morning, really nice guy. He was a officer, which they're always great to have out. We're always big on supporting, first responders, military, everything like that. So when we get those folks out, it's always great to have them with us. And it was one of those hunts that hunt was really great, kind of relaxed. We got to go through pigs a little bit. We weren't in a huge rush. It was just him and I. And then my daughter was out with us. She helps us out quite a bit. So we were kind of hunting first thing in the morning down in the flats. We probably passed up, 2 or 3 herds of, sows and piglets, trying to let those go. The guy really wanted, if a chance, they had a big boar.
Yeah.
So, a few hours in, we start hiking up. Um, you know, it was raining, so no vehicles, anything like that, on foot the entire time. So we start climbing elevation to try to get into the ranch. And we get about, you know, halfway to third way or third to halfway up the mountain there. Look back across the highway, start glassing, see a herd moving through. Put up the spotter, start looking in there, see if there's any quality. And big old boar walks into frame, and it's one of those that just drop everything, mouth opens. I mean, you're looking mile and a half off, and you just see giant teeth hanging out of his mouth, and it just like, stop everything we're doing. We got to go. I dropped, leave the spotter, set up, drop my daughter there, hand her a radio, and just say, whatever you do not take your eyes off of that pig. So the hunter and I, we go running off the mountain, and we've got mile and a half as the crow flies to go. So we drop off the mountain, start cutting through the flats. We get across the highway, have to work our way back up another few hundred feet, come over the ridge, cresting, get there, and nothing. So radio my daughter. I'm like,
Oh,
what's going on?
oh
Where's
no.
this pig? What happened?
Yeah.
And she's like, I haven't seen him for a bit. Last I seen him, he hit the brush, but I haven't seen him leave. So we sat there for an hour or better and just glassing and glassing. And finally, I pick up a little bit of a tail wag in the brush, and then just look. I'm like, oh, there they are, and start scanning through. Pig finally gets up on its feet, moving back and forth, trying to find the big one. And he finally steps out. And so, guys set up. We're probably 200 yards cross canyon from him. He's got his head buried in a piece of brush. And, I get him on there, and we're trying to go through, okay, which pig is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the one 3 times the size of everything else sitting there. You can't see his head. Trust me, just shoot it. And he cranks one off, and you hear it whack.
Nice.
It probably runs 50 yards or so and piles up, and you just see him tumbling down the hill. We knew he was big. We get down to him, roll him over, and it's just like, again, your jaw just drops. He's 4 inches on the bottom, both sides, 4 inches on top, just a monster. I mean, looking at him, I told the guy he had no idea what he killed. I was like, you have to mount it. Realistically, this is going to be top 10 pig killed in the state this year.
Wow.
Like it's just one of those monsters.
Yeah.
And so this was like I said, first pig, second pig, just awesome.
That's
so
too
we
cool.
finally get it down, and it's like, okay, great. Now I have to go walk the mile and a half back, go grab my daughter, walk back in, and then we have to get this thing out of there. And it's not too far of a walk to get him out to where we can get the Jeep to, maybe half a mile, but so wet that it took us hour and a half to move them a couple hundred yards, just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, because
Okay.
it's one of those 2-step forward or step back, 2-step, 1 back, just back and forth. But at the end of it, yeah, it was just, one of those quality pigs that guys hunt their entire life and don't kill.
Oh, that's too cool. And that's his first pig.
That was his first, maybe second.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, just unforgettable for him.
That's too cool. What was running through your head when you saw him and you guys are at that 200-yard mark and you're trying to tell him which one it is? Like what are the thoughts running through your head then, Colby?
At mine then, I mean, where he was probably only 30 yards off the neighbor's fence line.
Yeah.
So it was like, we have to move. He cannot step over. If he hits that fence, it's done.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's no crossing the fence.
Okay. Okay.
So it's just move it through quickly without getting him too worked up.
Right. Right.
And then when it all came down, you know what most guys think? Please don't miss.
Of course. Of course. Yeah. And so when guys come out, let's talk about the setup for them a little bit. When guys are coming out, what are you recommending that they're shooting? Are we talking big caliber guns for the pigs? Are we talking, the small sixes? What do you guys recommend?
So for the longest time, we recommended magnums.
Okay.
Reason behind that, if we get on a big pig, they are tough.
How much do they weigh roughly? Like a big one, like the one Buddy shot.
His was probably about 250 to 280.
Oh wow!
But we've killed them 400 plus.
No, 400 pounds.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Which those are far and few between.
Sure. Yeah.
Like we may kill a 400 pounder once every few years.
Yeah.
Kill, 3 or 4 300 pounders a year, but you hit 200 plus pounds, it's a big pig.
Okay.
Yep. So we always recommended magnums for a long time.
Yep.
But as we learn more and stuff like that, we don't necessarily recommend that as much as we do the right projectile. And big thing for us is, for folks that don't know, my partner in the guide service, he's also the owner of McGuire Ballistics.
Yeah, so you guys have a little bit of insight into what ticks, right?
Yep. So, obviously for us, we're a little bit biased, but at the same time, the track record kind of proves itself.
Yeah.
Like if we could talk anybody into having his bullets loaded up,
yeah,
we don't care if you're shooting a 22 Creedmoor or 300 Win Mag, anything in between. They just do the job. I don't think a single time since we've been using his bullets that he's released that if an animal was hit in the body cavity, we have ever lost it.
That's phenomenal. And so for those that might not know, California is a lead-free state, if I'm correct.
Yes.
Okay, so that ties in real well to Sam's bullets that are all copper.
Yep, they're all copper, and that's kind of where it was born on his bullets. So it wasn't so much, he wanted, his design in his bullet wasn't so much like we're going lead free, he's got anything against lead.
Yeah.
It was actually sitting around a campfire one night, him getting tired of tracking wounded pigs. Right. So he grew up in a machine shop. His family owns a machine shop, and they work in the aerospace and industry and stuff like that, making parts. And so he just had the idea in his head that I'm going to make a better bullet. And then 10 years of R&D, and he's got his copper rose line.
Yeah.
And his R&D was, he goes in the shop and makes a bullet on Monday, loads it up during the week, and we had clients or ourselves shooting animals on Saturday.
There we go.
And so, so those ones were bored in the field and not in a lab.
Yeah. Yeah. Real world results.
Yeah.
That's cool. Man, I love that. So with everything that, you grew up in this industry, you've made one heck of a cool run. What still gets you out of bed? What gets you excited about being an outfitter?
So for me, I always say, and I think Sam feels the same way, is the reason I do it is because I love it. The second I stop loving it, I won't do it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
But outside of that as well, it's just been a huge thing in my life. It is my family legacy between my father and myself. It's a family thing for me, right? It's something I'm always going to do. I want to pass it down to my kids one day if they want to do it.
Yeah.
But it just comes down to I love doing it.
That's
Like I
cool.
love chasing pigs. I love, getting guys new opportunities and everything like that. It's just I think it's just ingrained in my soul, and it's nothing that I can ever see myself stop like not doing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's awesome. I love that, man. Before we wrap up, I've got a few more questions, but I'd love to hear one more hunting story. If you got one more deep in the bank for us.
Okay, let me pull out a recent one that was just a lot of fun for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we just recently had a 6-man group. Good group of guys have been coming with us for years. Hunting over in the valley. We had a brand new ranch to try out. It was our first time on it. Owner took us around. Get over there. We're out there and fogged in like crazy. So can't see the ranch or anything like that. But first started getting in there. I mean, right away through the gate, 200 yards in, group of pigs walks out. Guys are a little slow. Don't get out. Don't get ready to shoot. We watch those ones walk away. Cruise up a little bit further. 2 buggies take off in front of me. I'm trailing, and 100 yards to our left, group steps out. Get the guys out real quick. Set up. Big sow moving through. Guy cranks off, misses. 50 yards off to the left, good board, 225-pound board comes sneaking out. It goes, cranks it, rolls that one.
Right on. Yeah.
Call the guys back. They never heard our shots with all the fog. We get them loaded up, start going again, just working our way real slow through the fog. Once we get going through there, we're kind of going through a little uh, bed of rocks, like big boulders and things like that. 10 yards from us, pig jumps up, runs back behind me. Sam in front of me gets a guy out of the buggy, runs around to the side of us. Pig's about to disappear in the fog, but for whatever reason, he decided to button hook back around. And guy runs up and quick on the gun, quick on the trigger, cranks one out full speed, hits him, slows him down enough to where we can gain another 100 yards on him and put him down. And that was kind of our hunt for the morning. We had another ranch that we promised the landowner we'd go out to. So we kind of packed up, ran out there, took care of those pigs, got the hide off as quick as we could. It was a little bit of drive between the couple ranches. By the time we got out there, we had, a couple hours of light left and, 4 guys left to fill out. I mean, we had another day past this too, but once we got out there, it was time for the dog work.
Okay.
So, we were a little excited and stuff.
And is it still foggy at this point?
That side, it cleared up a little bit for us.
Right.
So it finally burned off a little bit. So we head up to the end of the river, kick the dogs out. And I'd say within a couple minutes, we get one started. And it's just a mean sow. Mean sow. We're sitting there trying to get the guy set up, and she's just running dogs out of the riverbed. Thought it was a big boar at first, just the way she's acting, but it was just mean as can be. And we finally decided, all right, we got to get a catch dog in there. So throw a big bulldog in there, get it called in, get it caught. Grab the oldest client because we know this is going to be his best opportunity to kill a pig.
Yep.
So we get him crawling through the thicket with us. He sneaks in there, 80 years old, going up and over the different logs, and he comes in and grabs the pig by its back legs, and he's holding it while we're getting dogs off, and grabs Sam's 30-30, puts a finishing shot, get that one loaded up, and we're going down a little bit further. Have to go a little bit further so the dogs don't, button back on the same scent. Release them again, and we're going, and then this is basically when all hell breaks loose. Get in the group. Our buddy and myself, we go in to where we had a hog bayed. We're getting in there, and dogs break. We look, and we've got Sam about 800 yards as a crow flies, working another bay. So our buddy and I, we haul butt with the other clients. We're getting up there. Sam stops us, look out in the orchard, and dogs are just spinning. trying to call them off. A couple of young dogs wouldn't come off. So take a client in, client sneaks in with us. He grabs him by the back legs, walk him through how to flip it over, sit on top of it while we get dogs pulled off, and then shoots that one with a 30-30 and get that one killed. And then we look and we have dogs everywhere. So Buddy takes one hunter. We got a dog 500 yards the other direction. Look, we've got another set of dogs 1.2 miles as the crow flies. And at this time, the river is, I don't know, 5 feet high and just roaring. So we actually had to go, I don't know, 3-4 miles down so we can hit a bridge and get across the river and then go to the dogs. As we're getting across, Sam's ahead of me, looks over, 350-pound board runs out in front of him. So he kicks his little terrier out and run that one. And he goes off and catches this 350-pounder. And I'm looking, okay, do I follow or do I go? I look, it's like, nope, I still got a mile plus to go find other dogs. So at this point, we've got 3 different groups of dogs caught on 3 different pigs. And so luckily we had somebody helping as well. And we go and Sam's on the 350-pounder. I'm taking guys flying another mile or so down the road and get the one that I got after killed, get on the radio. Our buddy's got his killed with the client. Sam's got his killed. And we didn't know how big that one was at the time. I just asked him, what's going on? He's like, we got him. And he's like, you got the dogs? And we do a check. We got all the dogs back. Everything worked. And Sam just goes, I need you to get over here. I can't load this on the bike. So we get over there and 350-pounder on the ground. And we went from needing 4 more pigs to kill to killing 5 in an hour and 15 minutes.
Unreal.
And it was just wild.
Just mayhem, pure adrenaline for that hour and a half of it. Oh, that's awesome. I love that. The coolest part of that story for me is the 80-year-old crawling through the bush, up over logs, being able to get right in there and do it. So these kinds of hunts, like we talked about maybe at the beginning, right from beginner to, if I'm able to do that at 80, man, I'm going to be stoked.
Yeah, he is awesome. I mean, he comes back every year.
Okay.
And he doesn't care. He doesn't care what it is. He just wants to have a good time.
He just wants to hunt.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. That's too cool, man. If somebody's listening to this and they're like, man, I gotta go do this with Colby. Do you guys have openings in 2026? Obviously that Thule elk is, you gotta win the tag. So that's first up. Somebody's got to do that before they reach out. But what about the rest of the hunts?
Yeah. So the deer we're actually waiting on, we may be getting some extra deer hunts. We're sold out for deer this year. Okay. But we may have an opportunity to open up some additional hunts. The pig hunts, we do have opportunities available in 2026. Guys, get a hold of us. It comes and goes all the time. We'll add on additional hunts. We've got the ability with all the different ranches. We can have one group go hunt one ranch, another one hunt another ranch, but we never take groups and hunt them on top of each other.
Yeah.
So if you book a hunt, it's your hunt. So we're not stacking people that don't know each other on top of each other. But we do have availability for the pig hunts in 2026.
Nice. And we'll make sure in the show notes that we've got you guys' website and everything. But if you want to shout it out for anybody that's driving, listening, what's the best way to get in touch with you guys?
Yeah, website, it's smcwilliamsguideservice.com. You can hit Sam up on Instagram, at SMC Guide Service. Those are probably the 2 best ways. If you get on the website, our email's listed, phone numbers are listed, but all of our information's out there.
That's fantastic. And the other piece that you mentioned, there was 6 guys in a group. Like that sounds like a real fun way to do it. What's the biggest group you guys have had come down or come up?
Recently, probably 6 to 8. We've done up to 12 in the past. Our depending on the hunt, our money spots is that like 3 or 4 for the spot and stock.
Yeah.
If we get real big, then we'll go hunt the big ranches and mix in the dog work too, because it just exponentially opens up more opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense. Well, that's awesome, Colby. I really appreciate the time. Appreciate you hopping on here with us. I know some people are going to be stoked to hear this one. Is there anything that we didn't cover that you'd like to throw out there before we wrap up?
I guess with this, just being a outfitter podcast, if you're looking to book a hunt, do your research on your outfitters. You do want to go with somebody reputable. You do get a lot of mix of new guys versus guys that have been doing it. But no, overall, highly recommend pig hunting in California. It's really overlooked by guys on for the Western hunting side.
Yeah.
But it's a lot different than like the pig hunting you'd get down in Texas and stuff like that.
Yeah, it sounds like an absolute blast. Something to put on that bucket list for sure.
Yeah.
Wicked, my friend. Well, thank you again for the time. Really appreciate it. And yeah, forward to chatting again sometime soon.
All right. Appreciate it.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Let's Go Guided. If you enjoyed it, make sure you follow along and share it with someone who's planning their next hunt. See you on the next one.